unbelievable.
That season they were favourites to get relegated.
The club's just buzzing at the moment.
So when they got promoted it was unbelievable.
It's awesome. I think that it is amazing.
We're in it, so therefore it's good.
When we went down the prom and there was that many fans turned out, it was unreal.
Blackpool Football Club were founded on the 26th of July 1887 as the successor of Blackpool St John's Football Club, which disbanded due to disputes amongst the players. In 1953, Blackpool triumphed against Bolton Wanderers in the FA Cup final, where they won 4-3 after being 3-1 down. Blackpool's most famous player, Stanley Matthews, who convinced them it was possible, inspired their comeback. Also in the triumph, Stan Mortensen, who's Blackpool's top ever goal scorer, scored a hat-trick, the only player ever to score a hat-trick at an FA Cup final at Wembley Stadium. It was the first final attended by a reigning monarch, Queen Elizabeth II. Just over a decade later, Blackpool FC had lost most of the players who triumphed in the FA Cup, having either retired or moved to other clubs, and they also were relegated in 1967. Blackpool, though, were promoted back to the First Division in the early 70s, but this was short-lived and they were relegated straight back. To make things worse, in 1979 Blackpool were relegated to the Third Division for the first time in their history. 11 years later they were relegated to the Fourth Division and stayed there for 2 years before being promoted via the playoffs. Blackpool spent 3 years in the Championship, being favourites to be relegated each time, but they gained promotion to the mighty Premier League in 2010, beating Cardiff City in the playoffs. This is the first time Blackpool has been in the top league for 39 years. Blackpool's first year in the Premier League has resulted them in beating teams such as Wigan, Wolves, Stoke, and doing the double over Liverpool Football Club, winning 2-1 both times. As 2011 has begun and Blackpool's first season in the Premier League is over halfway complete, the club are in a comfortable position and will hopefully avoid relegation. All we need to do is back them. Blackpool being in the Premier League has benefited tourism in the town, there's no doubt about it. But why has tourism benefited the town? Let's see what some of the local people from Blackpool have to say about it.
Because it's raised the profile of the town and people have realised that actually there's a lot of cool things going on in Blackpool, and of course a lot of attention is focused on the Premier League, and therefore we're in it, so therefore it's good.
I'm sure lots of money and lots more visitors have come, tourist attractions and things like that, so it's been all positive.
I think it's really good. It obviously brings tourists and stuff to the town, but yeah, I just think it's good because they're on TV more and watch them and stuff.
I think that it is amazing that Blackpool have been promoted because they're a really good team and Ian Holloway will lead them right the way to the top.
When we spoke to the head of Blackpool in the community, Derek Spence, he said that with Blackpool being in the Premier League, the town will benefit with away fans from bigger clubs who will spend the weekend in the town, and the word of mouth will help Blackpool grow even further. He also clarified what he said by saying that because Blackpool are in the Premier League, they will get national exposure in newspapers and on TV, creating a buzz for the town. Visit Blackpool, the destination marketing company for the resort, have created a dedicated webpage for fans that hosts offers from the resort's restaurants and attractions, with money off food, entrance fees, events, as well as accommodation. Football fan offers include 50% off at Sea Life Blackpool ahead of any Blackpool home game, 3 for 2 on wristbands for thrill seekers visiting the Pleasure Beach, 25% off admission to the Sandcastle Water Park, half-price entry to the Syndicate Super Club, plus many, many more. During the last week of October, which is Blackpool's busiest time of the year, a record 330,000 people visited the Hounds Hill shopping centre, and the figures show that the 4% increase was mainly down to football fans visiting the town. A major part in Blackpool's future is the youth team. A huge amount of pressure is now on this generation and they need to live up to the first team's excellent standards that got them into the Premier League. The youth team consists of 18 lads and only a select few will get a professional contract. We're going to be hearing the opinions of Chris Kettings, Adam Dodd and Liam Tomsett about what it's like to be in the Premier League, what they really think of Ian Holloway and how important education is to a young player.
Like, the club's just so happy to be where they are and they want to be there for another season to come as well.
Seems himself quite confident, a bit of a leader on the pitch. Like, obviously as a goalkeeper, you've got to be very vocal, you've got to command the back four, so quite confident, quite bold.
Well, I'm a centre midfielder. I like to go in for a tackle. I'm captain of the youth team as it is now, and I'm a passer of the ball. Really like to spray the ball around.
I'd say I'm attacking, going forward. I'm quite an aggressive player. I like to get at people.
It's unbelievable. He's a big character. It's like when the training game, he'll come out with some comments and very inspirational.
Oh, he's a good laugh around the training ground. That he's always telling us jokes and his banter's good. But he also has his serious side. When he wants us to do something, he can have his serious side, and I've learnt a lot from him. My highlight of my career is probably Southampton away when I started there for the first team. I think it was last Saturday or the Saturday before. Yeah, so up to now, that's probably my highlight of my career.
Well, not really had much of a career yet, but I think last couple of weeks we played in the FA Youth Cup and put in a good few performances, played a few big teams. This dropout rate for a football player is massive. Out of the 18 of us in the youth team now, there may be only 1, 2 that'll make it. So an education's massive for us to, when you do drop out, you've always got that education to fall back on.
It's important because, I mean, if you don't get professional contracts and football doesn't work out, I mean, it's something to fall back on.
Can't say. Obviously, I've been doing well, so hopefully I'll get somewhere in football, but if not, I've got my education, I'll be able to go on to do better things.
We hope for the best, and with any luck, these lads will reach their dreams of being top footballers. Blackpool Football Club has benefited the town radically, resulting in 13 million people visiting the resort in 2010, the highest figure in over a decade, beating the likes of Brighton and Skegness as the UK's top holiday resort. As a result, Blackpool has started to regenerate, creating a buzz for the town, and will result in more tourists visiting in 2011. Let's hear what people think about Blackpool's regeneration.
It's a major benefit because not just Blackpool Football Club, but all the other tourist areas that Blackpool has to offer, the Pleasure Beach, Blackpool Tower, things like Madame Tussauds and the Winter Gardens, all of those things, when people go to see a football match, they've got all these other things to go to, and particularly when it hits the summer seasons as well.
I can remember reading in the Gazette that in 2010, 13 million people visited the resort, which is the most in over a decade.
The redevelopments have made me more proud to be a Blackpool citizen.
More high profile because the council would have worked up on all of the promotion that the team got for all the news and media because of the promotion of Blackpool Football Club up to the Premier League.
Blackpool's most iconic structure, Blackpool Tower, is going through a multi-million-pound makeover that includes new attractions, hoping to be opened in the latter half of 2011, and restoration of Blackpool's famous ballroom. Another of Blackpool's iconic structures is the Winter Gardens, which is going through a major transformation to restore its Victorian splendour, so that it can attract big names and hold major conferences. The project is going to cost about £5.5 million, and the first stage has been completed and was open to tourists in February. Another project is Nickelodeon Land at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, hoping to be opened in April 2011. The aim is to create cartoon-themed rides for children. This is going to cost £10.3 million. And finally, Blackpool's famous promenade is being redesigned, costing £100 million. The aim of the project is to turn the seafront into a modern plaza for tourists. Blackpool's significant rise to the Premier League is the start of restoring the town back to what it was in the good old days. Watch this space. Blackpool are back on the map.